Hey, have you ever wondered how humans managed to conquer the skies? I mean, just think about it. There was a time when flying was just a dream. People thought it was impossible, like reaching for the stars. But two brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, changed everything. Let me tell you their story. It's one of the determination, a lot of failure, and eventually incredible success story. Trust me, it will blow your mind. So picture this. It's the late 1800s. The Wright brothers grew up in Dayton, Ohio. They were not rich or famous. Their dad was a preacher and their mom was super handy with tools. Ever since they were a kid, Orville and Wilbur were obsessed with how things work. They loved repairing. Their dad once gave them a toy helicopter made of cork or bamboo, powered by a rubber band. That little toy sparked their lifelong fascination with flight. Cool, right? Can you imagine being inspired by a simple toy? But here is the thing. Life wasn't exactly easy for them. Wilbur, the older brother, was a bright student, but a hockey accident knocked out his front teeth and crushed his confidence. He ended up staying home for years, feeling stuck. Orville, on the other hand, was more a daredevil. He even got expelled from high school for pulling pranks. Can you believe that? Yet, despite their setbacks, these two never stopped dreaming. The brothers eventually started a bicycle shop. Back then, bicycles were the hottest trend, kind of like the smartphones now. They fixed bikes, sold them, and even built their own models. This was not just a job for them, it was a training ground. They learned about machines, balance, and aerodynamics, skills that would later prove crucial. It's funny how life works, isn't it? Sometimes the thing you think are just stepping stones turn out to be the foundation for something much bigger that changes the world. Now let's fast forward a bit. By the late 1890s, the world was buzzing with talk about human flight. Scientists and innovators were trying to crack the code, but no one had succeeded. The Wright brothers, inspired by their childhood dream, decided to give it a shot. They were total underdogs. I mean, they did not even go to college, but they had two things going for them: curiosity and grit. They started by studying birds. Yep, birds. They watched how they flapped their wings and controlled their movements. Then they read every book and scientific papers they could find about flight. The more they learned, the more they realized that everyone else was approaching the problem wrong. Most inventors were focused on building powerful engines, but the Wrights figured out that control was the real key. In 1900, they built their first glider and tested it on the sand dune of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Why? Because it was windy, it was isolated and had soft sand for crash landing, and believe me, there were a lot of crashes. Their early attempts were pretty rough. Sometimes the glider would not even lift off. Other times, it would flip and throw them into the sand. But did they give up? Nope. Every failure was a lesson. They would go back, tweak their designs, and try again. By 1903, they were ready for the big test. They built a powered aircraft called the Wright Flyer. It had a 12 horsepower engine and wingspan of 40 feet. Honestly, it looked like something out of science experiment, fragile and shaky, but it was their best shot. On December 17, 1903, in freezing cold weather, they made history. Orville took the first flight, lasting just 12 seconds, covering 120 feet. Think about that for a second. It's shorter than the length of a football field, but it was enough to change the world forever. How crazy is that? They did not stop there though. Over the next few years, they kept improving their designs. They faced tons of challenges, tons of troubles, doubters, legal battles, and even skeptics who thought their flights were fake, but they kept pushing forward. By 1908, their planes could fly for over an hour, and people finally started to take them seriously. Government and businesses lined up to buy their machines. The Wright brothers went from being two small-town bike machine mechanics to global pioneers. That's even more inspiring is how humble they stayed. They did not fly for fame or fortune. They flew because they believed in their dreams. And that's the real lesson here, isn't it? Success is not about having the best resources or the perfect plan. It's about passion. It's about persistence and the willingness to fail until you get it right. So, what do you think? Doesn't their story make you want to choose your own dreams? Imagine what the world would look like if everyone had the same determination as Wright brothers. Who knew? Maybe your next big idea could change the world too. Please, if you want to share your ideas, share with the world. Write in comment section below and share this inspirational story to your friends and family and everyone. Thank you.